The National, the first two pages of Frankenstein, album review, let's chat about it. Hey friends, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to chat about this latest album from Ohio indie rock legends, The National, all around well-respected band, and a band that for many years I truly loved as well, even if I've never been that into their alt-country leaning self-titled debut. I mean, I heard it at the time, and my initial thoughts was like, yeah, I'm not into these guys right now. But over the next few years, they shut my mouth and proved that they had a lot of lasting power. I've always said, since day one, Sad Songs for Dirty Lovers is my favorite National album of all time. I like so much of the material on Alligator as well, and Boxer deserves every single bit of accolades that it has ever gotten. It's a masterpiece. It's a great album from start to finish. But we have to talk about what's been going on ever since in the world of the National. Around the time of High Violet, I did really fall off with them, and it was a pretty steep fall off. And yes, there are some very nice ballads on here. There are live staples like Blood Buzz Ohio on this album, but overall, the energy was so down. The very sleepy-eyed, atmospheric indie of this album was just really turning me off to the band's sound, and if that was the case with High Violet, trust me, Trouble Will Find Me did a lot worse on my love for the National. And while it still had a great track or two, Don't Swallow the Cap is on there, which is just simply thrilling. The majority of this album just put me to sleep. I found myself more disconnected with the National than ever. Truthfully, I, honest to God, thought to myself, I'm probably not going to enjoy another album from The National. And then Sleep Well Beast came out and shut me right up. I thought this was easily, and I still think it is easily, their best album since Boxer. This album is refreshed, rejuvenated, really well written. I love the political edge to it, and it just showed them like dipping into styles that they hadn't touched in years. And I was just so happy to hear that. So much so that I just got right back on board with them. I saw them live a few times after that. They were really great live. And then I'm Easy to Find came out, and they started dipping their toes back into so many different former, really bad tendencies of albums like High Violet and Trouble Will Find Me. Just honestly, I was so turned off by the I Am Easy to Find album. You know what? They brought on all of these wonderful female guest singers, and not a single one of them can save the day. People like Kate Stables and Sharon Van Etten could not save the day, which leads me to this new album. And each single leading up to this thing put me to sleep twice as hard. I'm scared. Let's chat about this thing. Now, as custom with almost every National album, yes, even my least favorite ones, there are some really great tracks on here. Take, for example, this album's opener, Once Upon a Poolside, featuring Sufjan Stevens. Listen, there's a lot of ballads on this album that really put me to sleep in a heartbeat, but this is not one of them. This is really tasteful and actually really beautiful. It is an absolutely tender, gorgeous ballad that is just so vivid and full of great imagery. It has so much heart to it, and Sufjan's backing vocals add a ton too. And truthfully, of all the singles, Eucalyptus has grown on me the most. I do really like the nods to folktronica that we get in the instrumental, and Matt Berninger's vocals, they might be his most passionate on this entire album. And by the end of this track, it becomes this larger-than-life anthem that I just cannot help but salute. It is really great, even though it took a while to grow on me. It's the National in 2023 playing with passion. I can't ask for much more than that. And this isn't helping. I will say this, of the two Phoebe Bridgers collaborations on here, this is by far the better of the two. This track is great. I mean, vocally alone, Matt and Phoebe have so much chemistry, I'm actually kind of shocked. It's smooth, it's got some drama to it, it's not that hard. Oh dear. But, outside of that, I hate to say it, but I think we've hit a low. New Order t-shirt, ever since it dropped as a single, I haven't been into this. This is such shit. I mean, if you like sleepy-eyed ballads with zero substance, you'll get a load of this. This is great in that respect. But this instrumental floats right by on this track and does not stop me even for a heartbeat. And lyrically, I feel like the National aren't even trying. Outside of that, though, I feel like this is the kind of National track that just, I don't know, that they got all the juice out of 10 years ago. I feel like they wrote this track like 40 times. With Tropic Morning News, things do get more upbeat and synth-driven, which I thought would kind of save me a little bit. But even this is just a pile of crap, man. I mean, this just sounds like, once again, like we've been here before. My brain is so dead listening to this. There's nothing new or, like, fancy about this. Not even the guitar solo on this track can help the sleepy, syrupy, just dazed ballads of the rest of this album. And with Alien, I have to tap out. This track is so bottom of the barrel. How is this so boring? There seems to be like no progression whatsoever once again, and even the National's legendary, poetic, very visual lyrics can't save the day. No, we're not even in we've been here before territory from the National. We are now in territory of this sounds like it was like pulling teeth for them to record this. Now, I will say this, on Ice Machines, I do really love the very wintry, very folky instrumental. It actually warms my heart. It's got a fair amount of mystique to it as well. But Matt's performance here, and the lyrics here, what happened? It takes a decent track from the distance and just plummets it down so many levels. It's got potential, so much of it, but this just seems like a missed opportunity. And Your Mind Is Not Your Friend featuring Phoebe Bridgers, don't hate me, I've not been into this as a single. It hasn't grown on me either, and you know what, maybe it's just hearing one sleepy, dreary, syrupy ballad after another that I'm just kind of sick of it. It very well might be. But it adds nothing, and sadly not even Phoebe can kind of save this one. And what makes things even more frustrating is there are some decent tracks late into the album. Take, for example, the Alcott featuring Taylor Swift. This is fantastic. It's not like the National can't put together a great ballad, because that is what we get here in every way. Between the tender piano and Matt's vocals, which may just be his best on this entire album, this is great. Oh yeah, by the way, Taylor absolutely kills her guest feature here. Like fans of her Folklore and Evermore albums, check this out. But it's also really frustrating. Why is it so hard to find a good medium for the National in 2023? And I've always enjoyed tracks like Grease in Your Hair from the National, and this is no different. The upbeat strummed riff is a breath of fresh air, as well as these lyrics that are really vivid. But it's more than that. They're playing with heart here. They're playing with passion. There's a little grit to this. There's some oomph in it. It's youthful. It's passionate. I can't ask for much more. But then for this album's finale, we have Send For Me, and I've got nothing to say. I mean, if you've listened to the other 10 tracks on this album, you probably know what to expect here, and it's not much better by now, trust me. Yeah, I definitely need a nap after this one. Yeah, I think this is bottom of the barrel for the National. I mean, I've been disconnected from them for a really long time, but there's always a good handful of tracks on there that I can listen to and I can appreciate, but this album was rough to get through. This was like pulling teeth at times, and much like every other album in their discography, when they put their head to it, there are some really great tracks on here. There's some great collaborations. The tracks with Sufjan Stevens, the one track with Phoebe Bridgers, and the track with Taylor Swift are fantastic, but so much of this album is either dated on arrival or just sounds like the National didn't even want to record it. I'm feeling a light 5 on this thing, but let me know what you all think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.